the burning inside of me. I'm insane. Okay.
It is another dark and dreary day. The birds don't seem to care though. They just want their fucking seeds. Today, we're gonna learn about altars. Step 4. Today, I am so tired. I don't know if it's just the gloomy weather that's been happening for the past 3 days, or if I'm just exhausted in general because I can't sleep. Step 4, altar. We're gonna go over what an altar is. Do you need one? What is an altar? Blah blah blah, altar stuff. First off, what is an altar? I love talking about the altars because I just recently did mine, so it makes me happy to talk about altars. And then when we get into did I say step 4 this whole time? I meant step 3. Third. Try this again. Step 3, altar. Step 4 is going into the tools. That's a different video. Okay, what is an altar? An altar is a structure or a place where you would put somewhere in your home or wherever you live. It would be an area you would for your witchy purposes. A place where you would keep your witchy tools and your goddess statues or deities. It's a place where all of your witch tools and belongings and stuff are set up. So some people may be like, well, do I really need an altar? No, you don't need an altar. It's just something that I find that personally helps, and I found it necessary after you have gained a bunch of items to do for your crafts and used for just as soon as like you get a bunch more things, you're like, okay, where am I going to put all this stuff? And eventually you'll need an altar to set it all up. Now, you don't need it. It's just a personal thing, I believe. Some people are like, no, you need an altar if you're going to be a witch. No, that's not necessarily the case. Not everyone can have an altar in their house. I feel that it makes me feel complete to have one. For the longest time, I didn't have an altar. I couldn't find a space in my house to put one up. I didn't have the money either to go and get a table or the items to do it. Over time, I just had collected bits and pieces, and finally I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try to find a way to create an altar because I feel like that's something I need. But it's totally up to you. You don't have to have one. There is ways you can make one. I'll go over that. There is I'll also go over like how to make one. So here's an example of my altar that's in the background of most of my videos. The altar did not look like this in the beginning. I'll show you a before pic, but this is what my altar looks like now. And an altar is just basically, like I said, your space with your witchy belongings and things that you feel are close to you and things that represent you as a witch and where you would do practices. So if you want to make one, you can make a large one. Like this is what I would consider a large one. I'm sure people have like huge, like a whole room dedicated. I don't know, like I'm not sure how far it goes, but to me this would be considered a large altar, as I am using one whole wall to do it all on. You can use a temporary one, which I find is super cute, and it's also good for when you're traveling or on the go, or you're not in a certain steady place, like you're like currently moving, but you still want to practice, but you can't obviously set anything up if you're moving or traveling. So I find the small temporary ones are super cute. So if you choose to make a small altar, you can actually purchase a small wooden box, or if you already have one at home that doesn't have a purpose, you can use one of those. You can use like a small box. You can even use a shoe box. I've seen people do shoe boxes. any sort of container or box. You can get them from Walmart. They have a few for a decent price, I think, if you're interested. You can also paint the boxes, which is really neat. You can decorate how you want. If you get a small box, you can put your tools or your candles or herbs or whatever you're going to use for your little altar and practicing. You put them in there, and you can also take it to go. You can set it up. You can like take your box and just like set it up and put it somewhere and put your items around it. And when you're ready to like move or transfer it somewhere else, you can just put it all in, close it, and go. It's actually really handy. They even make these teeny tiny little tin ones for like if you're going on a hike or what have you, and you want to go do a little, I don't know, say you're camping and you with a bunch, like a group, and you want to do like a ritual, like you can have this little tiny mint tin tiny altar to go. Some people have a basic way of setting up an altar where they use the 4 elements. It's like a cookie cutter kind of way to do it. A lot of witchcraft Wicca books have this setup altar idea on how to place the tools or the objects, what to put there. They say you add all the elements, earth, water, fire, air, incorporated into it, and that's supposed to be an altar. That's like a basic, to me, that's like my cookie cutter altar. If you don't know how to do it, you can do it that way. I don't. Obviously, I set mine up the way I feel, and this is how I feel like you should do it too, because your energy is put into it, and that's like reflects you in your work. I basically just put whatever I feel is necessary, which is something that I'm interested in or I use with my craft. I don't have all 4 elements in here. You know, like I do it differently. It's your style, your craft. You do it how you want. You can decorate it how you want. You can put flowers that you found outside around there and have the petals dry or whatnot. It's really how you want it to look. Don't think you have to have it a certain way, because that's not true. I would recommend whatever type of craft you're into, earth crafting, or if you're like doing more of a certain thing with that craft involving earth or whatnot, I would decorate it around earth qualities, like have more crystals, have like stuff that revolves around your craft. You can put on your altar, which are what I've said, your tools. A lot of these tools would be crystals, sage bundles, incense. Some people have deities. I have 2 up here, Lilith and Hecate. I really am not sure still how to pronounce her name. You can do your Book of Shadows. You can put anything on it, really. Like I said, it's really how you want it to reflect you and your craft. But you can also make it pretty and creative and do it how you want. So when you don't have a budget and you don't have any money and you're just getting into the craft and you're like, okay, I want an altar. How do I do this? I'm going to show you how I set mine up. It's really silly and pretty ghetto, but I am on a budget, and it took me a while to create my altar or set it up because, again, I have no money. You know, I'm trying to do things on a budget, and I'm also really creative, and I try to find ways around it. So, is to be creative. What you see here is not a table. Well, kind of. It's, in fact, 2 TV dinner trays that I set up side by side and really carefully shoved it up against the wall and put this, this is actually not a cloth, this is a scarf that I used. I don't know if you can see the cool details in it that I got online. I originally wanted to wear it, but then I was like, it looks way cooler as a cloth. And I just draped that over it to hide the fact that it's 2 TV dinner trays, but I wasn't using the TV dinner trays, and I was like, you know what? I can make that a table. It really can be super creative. You could even use a log outside if you're able to cut a log, or if you find a nice flat surface log. You can use that tiny top of the log and just put whatever little tiny things you have at that moment. It's really something you just gather until you can make it bigger or add to it. Start small. If you don't have if you don't have a lot to make an altar like this, and you only have like one crystal or one candle or one thing for your craft, that's fine. You don't have to have this giant, like you can start small, and that's okay. You got to start somewhere. Even if it's just placing one crystal in the corner of your room somewhere, and it's just like maybe a picture of someone you love and just one crystal, there's your altar. You set it up. That's what you would start with. That is your base, your little beginning, your foundation. That's how you begin your altar if you don't have a whole lot. I think this video is going to be super long because there's not a whole lot to go into an altar. It's basically everything I had gone over. If I'm missing something about an altar, let me know down below. I'm pretty sure I covered everything you would need. There are budget-friendly ways to go about it. You can go to the dollar store for some of those items. You can even check out thrift stores. I've gone thrifting and found a lot of useful things that I ended up putting with my altar, and I was just like, wow, that's perfect for what I need. There's a whole bunch of ways to go about making it. It's up to you. It is how you want to do it. Be creative. Have fun with it, most of all. Like, that's like the best thing. I had so much fun putting this together. And you want it to just reflect you and your craft and how you feel, and you're gonna see it like every day while you're crafting or doing your rituals. So you're gonna want it to look nice. You're gonna want to be happy with it. That is probably one of the most important things, is be happy with your altar and how you set it up. And I think that about covers it. And I hope you guys have a great day and have fun building your altar. My next video will be part 4 of how to basic witch, and that's going to be tools and what kind of tools that witches use for spells and whatnot. And I will go over much more in depth of what kind of tools to use and why use them, how to use them, and all that. So look forward to part 4. If you would like, I'd also post some photos for inspiration if you want that. I will post them somewhere around here, probably here. And that might help you with how to set up your altar or do your altar, or however you want, if you need some sort of other inspiration. I found that I would Pinterest a lot of ideas. These are not my photos, just to make that clear. These are some I found online. So if it helps, here you go.